Hampshire Outdoors and Survival here. Hey, it's Mick. Oh, yeah, it's quite a pleasant day. As you see, steam's rising off. We've been sweating like a pig. Running a 4x4 course, or I'm not. The guys are running a 4x4 driver course today, so I can't film too much because I have privacy to them. However, I'm here. I'm starting on it. It's proving to be heavier going than I thought. A lot of the screw heads I can't get to and that, so what I've decided to do is probably come back in with a heavy duty saw and section it down that way. The wood hasn't lasted quite as well as I'd have hoped, but it's going to be usable and we'll be able to build a shelter out of it. So what I'm going to do for you today, I'm going to rig up a small shelter and we're going to have lunch on the bush box, which is what I plan to do anyhow. So there we go, let's have some fun, crack it out. Hope your day's as good as mine, and let's crack on. Okay, because Hampshire Outdoors and Survival is having a cup of tea and it's a working day, we're not drying, I'll show you how I cheat. Dragon gel, cigarette lighter. I know it's not bushcrafting, but I don't have time to mess about today. So the day is against me, weather-wise and time-wise. In fact, the week's against me. I was hoping to get up here a fair bit. It looks like the weather conditions are going to be against us all week, with the exception of today. Load up our bush box. Right. Okay. Brew on. cloud on it. Cheers. There's nothing quite like a hot cup of tea on a miserable day. As you see, there's the shelter. So we've got a bit of airflow underneath it. It is slatted. Originally it was a platform ramp. You can see what we've done. We basically slats on the inside, brash on the outside. It'll do for what we need. It will create a dry area, somewhere to store wood, somewhere to get out of the weather if we need to. A little fire going, a little fire pit. So the salt course that we're taking down, so we're going to use timber off of this, which we've already used some of that, and keep the woods nice and clean and tidy. Downside is we're on a bit of a slope, but that doesn't matter. I mean, this area down here is all flat. It's just where we're standing is a bit of a slope, but helps with drainage, doesn't it, Jace?
It does indeed.
And this is how a man handles his sausage.
It's what you call a pair of tongs.
That's what
Come
you call
prepared.
it.
None of this little wooden things. Be prepared, guys.
Yeah. There you go. The words of a master. Welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. It's Mick. I'm out in the woods. I'm out with Jace. We're building the shelter. Yeah, it's getting there bit by bit by bit. It's still soggy, it's still damp. As you see, we're using a chainsaw. We're using a tarp for the shelter, and then we're hiding that under brash. Basically, the idea of the shelter just gives us somewhere that's dry, so if it's hammering down with rain, we can get out of it. It's not really a sleeper or an overnight shelter. It's just somewhere to give us a little bit of shade, a little bit of cover from the elements when we need it. After all, this is the UK. It's the Northern Hemisphere, as we say in the UK. If it ain't raining now, it soon will be. And once again, the smoke has got me. What can you do? So I'm going to have a sausage. I'm going to leave the camera running. I was going to do a bit of sausage. Oh, I say, Jess.
Wow.
One has become very civilised. One has butter.
One has butter with your sausage.
You've got to have a little bit of butter on your bread. It lubricates the joints, you know. Oh, that coffee's beautiful.
Really nice.
Camp coffee, once again.
Sausage. Get in my roll, you little sausage.
I'll do it. How do you reckon we're getting on?
It's coming together, isn't it? It really is.
It's going to take time, but it'll do.
It will indeed.
Now Tim's going to go on for Friday because they reckon Thursday's going to be atrocious. So guys, we've covered in the last few videos box stoves, we've covered Kelly kettles, we've covered squirrel cookers, and people say to me, yeah, but what about when it won't go right, when you can't light fire, and so on and so on and so on. So I decided just to throw this in today. So this is what I carry. This is the MSR pocket rocket. Okay, you can pick these up sub 50 quid. Don't pay more than 50 quid. Shop around. You can get them as low as 25 if you shop around. These are superb. Recommended by Royal Marines. Recommended or designed originally for mountain rescue. Comes in its own little sturdy case. Yep, you're going to need to carry one of these. But at the end of the day, this will always light in any condition, and it will boil water fast. So for those of you that want something to go camping with, tent camping, or you want something to throw in the car that's a bit more than an instant boil in the bag like we covered in the last video, this is my recommendation. This is my emergency kit. This lives in my vehicle. This is my, you know, it's extreme, I got to get by. In the little storage pot, I keep a squash down chicken tikka and rice ball in the bag, meatballs and pasta. There's 2 days worth of nutrients in that. The actual cook set is from Millets. Once again, for those of you in the UK, Millets, absolutely brilliant. Same sort of system as a jet boil, okay? Boils water in no time at all. Bit cheaper though. And let's face it, in these days of expenses, that's what you want. So, digs in his pocket for his cigarette lighter. So, the pocket rocket doesn't look a lot, but little legs fold out. Screws up straight on the top of your gas bottle. You can get stabilising legs for these. Don't over tighten them, you don't need to go mad. There we have it. It's a great little bit of kit. Let that boil up some water. I've already made a brew. I'm just going to boil pretty much what we've got. 400 mils of water. Just over 400 mils in actual fact. It's probably about half a litre in there. We'll boil that up in no time at all. There's no windbreak around it. If you wanted to improve on it, put a windbreak around it, it'll boil up even quicker. So there you go. For those of you that were saying to me, yeah, but I use gas, so do I. Everything has its place. Lighting a fire out in the woods because you can and you've got authority to or permission to, done in a safe manner, is great fun. It's relaxing. Doing it in the back garden is great fun. It's relaxing. Why do we all love a barbecue? Practicing your skills is excellent. But survival is, when push comes to shove, equipment, skill set and mindset. Okay? I was waiting for this to boil. Something somebody asked me about, and I will throw it out there to you guys, tell you a bit of a story about myself. And I don't like rabbiting on about myself too much. Mindset in survival, it's about willpower. In about 2000, I think about 2000, 2001, I was on a live firing range in Hampshire in the middle of summer. A lot of heather. And it's open heathland, so it's nearly all heather with small copses around, and we had a fire. There we go, it's already boiling. Yeah, rolling boil, there we go. And we had a fire on the heath. Don't know whether it was caused by ammunition or what, but it was a fire on the heath, so we stopped all the shooting. And I jumped into a vehicle with a group of about 5 or 6 other guys, and we shot off with fire beaters to try and put this heather out. And we parked the vehicle, walked through a small copse, and as we come out the other side of the copse, we could see the gorse of light in front of us, and it was a big area, or the heather light. It was a big area. So we started trying to beat it, and the wind changed, and I suddenly realised that the wind was going to blow back into this copse. Not too much of a worry, but the other side of the copse was the vehicle, and I didn't want to be held responsible for burning an MOD vehicle. So I just said to the guys, I'm going to straight through the woods and grab the vehicle, and I'll bring it round to this side of the fire, and it'll be good. So off I shot on my own through this copse. It's probably about 30-40 metres deep. It's pine and it's really dense. And I'm battling my way through it, and I saw a little ditch. Only looked like a 3-foot wide ditch, 2 feet deep. So I leapt it. And what actually happened, it turned out the ditch was about 4 foot wide, and it was about 3.5 feet deep. And my left foot impacted with the slope the other side, pushed my toes back till they touched my shin bone, and snapped my calf muscle. Now, I didn't know I'd snapped the calf muscle at the time. I didn't realise that I'd attached it. I thought I'd broken my leg, and I crashed into the bottom of this ditch, and I laid there and screaming agony, absolute agony, one of the worst pains I've ever had in my life. And I laid there for a second or two, and I suddenly realised that fire is coming into this copse, and when it hits this pine, it's going to rip. So I initially thought I'll call for help, and I realised the guys probably wouldn't hear me, and then this thought hit my head: I'm not going to burn to death. Worst case scenario, I've broken my leg. I'm going to scramble out of here. If the worst case scenario, I've broken my leg and I mash up the stump and I mash up the injury there, I'm going to lose my leg. But I've got my life. I've got a wife and I've got 2 kids I'm getting home for. And I dragged myself out of that ditch, and I hobbled, crawled and beat my way back to that vehicle. Got to the vehicle. And for those of you that drive a manual, you'll understand how this works. Luckily enough, it being diesel, I got into the vehicle, I put it into low range, put my foot on the clutch, engaged second gear, fired it up, let the clutch out and let the vehicle pull itself under its own steam, got it into third and drove it round to the other guys, where I promptly stopped, let them know what had happened, and pretty much passed out. As it turned out, I hadn't broken my leg, the calf muscle had detached, and that was best part of 16 weeks was off my feet and getting the muscle back together, or repairing the muscle. 32 weeks of walking with a stick. But the willpower thing is, that point when I went, I'm not going to burn to death, I'm getting home to my kids. If I lose my leg, I lose my leg, sod that, I'm getting out of here. And that's will. So you've got to have that will. That was my moment in this life, when for the first time I realised that I had that willpower and what willpower really meant. And it was agony. Skill. What do you know? What have you got? Can you get yourself out the wind and the rain? Can you get into the vehicle? Shelter? Kit? Yeah, kit comes back to this as well. I say skill when I point to these things, because it is skill. It's no good being able to light a fire because you think you know how to light a fire. You need to practice these things and actually get to the point where you know you can light a fire. If you've got a gas stove, you want to practice with the gas stove. Get used to using it. How quick does it boil? How long does it last for? How long does the water stay hot in the container? You know, so it's all those little things. It's all skills and practice. And kit. Well, kit is good. As I show you in all, or talk about in all the survival things, kit really is quite low down on the pyramid of survival, because you haven't always got it with you, and it ain't always going to work. So kit needs to be backed up with will, it needs to be backed up with skill set. Yeah. So yeah, it's enough of me waffling. That's the MSR stove. It works well. It's a brilliant bit of kit. You see, boiled that with no problem at all. So that I would say to you, if you're going to buy one piece of kit, you're going to spend a few quid on it, buy an MSR. They are jolly good. There are other brands out there. I won't knock any of them. I just haven't tried them, so I can't really comment. Other than that, guys, have a great one. This has been Mick, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, on a chilly November day, with Jace, eating sausages, drinking coffee, making a shelter. Right? Please like and subscribe. I hope you're having as awesome a day as I am. I hope everything's really good with you guys. Love and light to you all. Be good. See you on the next one. Nick out.